All hail the ultimate Dennis.
I couldn't find my video stream go button, but I have found it now. So it's time to head over to the other studio where everyone is ready to go, possibly except me. Here we go, the Old Tube Radio Network. I'm looking. They're not paying attention to me. Okay, now they are. Here we go.
You may not find us on your TV because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by OTR. Brought to you by 27.085 megahertz. Brought to you by RADI. The Old Tube Radio Network.
RADIO, the Old Tube Radio Network, that thing that has been happening on Channel 11 in the Central Valley of California for quite a long time. It's been, I don't know, 36 years or something, but that's due to our tube radio operators and shortwave listeners that like to come around and have a good time. Remember that? Remember when you could have a good time on your Citizen Band radio? Well, that is tonight here on the Old Tube Radio Network. My name is Dennis, the net control for this evening. I'll be helping you out in figuring out what kind of radios are on the air, talking to the SWLs, and hopefully checking in as many radios as possible. The bands have been quiet today. We had a nice surge of sunspots earlier this week, even yesterday, and it has sort of quieted down today. So without further ado, let me see if we can get started with the roll call for, and I'm echoing, I hear an echo, for 00.
Sounds good. Good evening, Dennis. 00, checking in.
All right. I've got, let me look at my controls here. I've got an echo mic. Without the echo mic. All right, well, we'll keep it going here. You are sounding good, Phil. We will get the X and the square. Those playing the home game should have the paper that's got the 10/2/2021 item on it.
Break OTR.
And the break OTR, go ahead, over.
Dennis, 650, Pinedale Control, back on the airways after 2.5 months of COVID and being on fire. Check me in early, please, and hey, everybody, hello, and I'm doing great.
All right, you're sounding good. Try and stay out of the smoke, the bad kind, which is kind of wafting all around Fresno and Pinedale and Clovis and areas beyond, and we've got you checked in. Take it easy, over.
10-4, keep proxy and Ron Tilly was out at Eagle Field today.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were out doing stuff today. It's a nice day. It's not too hot, not too cool. Getting stuff done. The fair's coming up, so maybe a slow evening as everyone settles down into their big easy chair, and when they wake up at 11:02 p.m. and come to Channel 11, there's not much out there. Getting a check-in for SWL number 1, Mr. Dr. J, and a happy birthday to SWL, Mr. OBP, back there in the land of, 9 pounds, good modulation at Chestnut and Herndon, over. And yes, he was just a wee lad back in the day when he and Jim figured out that it would be a good thing to come down to Channel 11 and decompress and get on the tube radios and have a good time. And we are still doing it here in August of 2021. Over to SWL3. SWL4. SWL5. SWL6. Shortwave listener 7.
Oh, SWL7 checking in.
And 7 is checking in, and now we've got you checked in, sounding good.
Thank you.
And now that the skip is not happening tonight, we have Idaho is back. SWL10 Chrissy at the controls. Saw your post about last week. Yeah, bittersweet. Well, it's good that you took some time out to do the visit. I'm glad you did that, and glad you are back here with us tonight on the Old Tube Radio Network. We'll get you and Dwayne checked in. Over to SWL 13. And I will try to be good about refreshing the comments here and seeing who is out there, so we don't miss anybody on the Old Tube Radio Network. Even if I see it days later, I go back into the files and put that X in the square. Boy, that echo. Hello, test radio. Okay, we'll just live with the echo for a little bit. Let's go over to where are we going? SWL 14.
Dennis, you had it off there one moment.
I think that when I stopped talking, is that it?
No, you were talking and it went off, and then you said, I get that to do it, and it came back on.
All right, how about that? Is that echoing?
No, it's not.
There. All right, they can no longer hear me in Poughkeepsie, but I don't know if I can handle 2 hours of echo. Let's go to where are we going? SWL 16 in Anoka, Minnesota. I haven't even looked at the list. See who's out there. Well, let's start in the balcony tonight up to Fresno, Englewood, Colorado. I talked to a Colorado station today. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Fresno, Dallas, Georgia, Newton. Where's Newtown? Where's Newton here tonight? We'll see what's going on with the maps. Okay, it won't show me. You are too stealthy. Inez, Kentucky, Squamish, British Columbia. The 428 mobile radio is at the ready. Low to Albury, Shinston, West Virginia, Hermosa Beach, Canby, Oregon, and Belfast, Maine. Chet is up in the footlights here tonight, working the cue cards and doing a good job. All right, we've got. I don't see Charlie in there. He may be coming. I'll get him proxied in. Let's go over to SWL 17. SWL 18. I've got to check in for Mikey from Facebook. Over to SWL 19 just moments ago in Derby, New York. Looking good here on the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. And I think Echo Link is up tonight on the direct mode at the moment. Let's go over to this guy's been quiet. SWL 20. I had a proxy in for Harvey mainly because I can't remember if he said to be proxied in tonight or not. So I'll just do that. So I won't get myself into trouble. And SWL 21, Mr. JT, who tonight was on, what radio was he on tonight? He was on the big, that doesn't look right. No, he was on the Browning Golden Eagle tonight, I do believe. But I was looking at the video, it is not showing. Yeah, Browning Golden Eagle Mark IV. The DNA 250 reverse preamp, and I think he said he was having some issues. Let me check the audio here.
Try to get out across the street. I got it turned down so you don't hear everything in the background.
You're fine. Go ahead and crank it up. See what happens.
Okay, he had switched radios.
Roger. See, that's picking up background right there. Hello.
Yes, it is.
JT, I know how it is with those technical
that's
difficulties.
Right there.
When you have to grab the backup.
Yes, it is.
Where you have to grab the backup radio and do something. There it is. There's the control room. If you're watching the video, that's what's going on in the control room. Went on in the control room of Old Radio tonight.
10-4, we drove it there.
Up on channel 12.
All right. Well, anyway, let's see.
Earlier in the evening.
I got it on about 4. I'm gonna leave it right about there.
Right
on about 4 there.
JT could run his radio at 11.
Yeah, you're doing it.
He could run his radio at 11, but notice he runs it at 4. We've got you checked in, sir, and good show on Old Radio Night tonight. Over to SWL 22. SWL 23. All right, get the right screen on there. I will get a proxy check in for Mr. 23 Skidoo. Is probably skedaddling to get to his coiled cord microphonium. Over to SWL 24. SWL 25. SWL, who's next? 27.
27's checking in live from Studio G.
Studio G, where it's probably no longer 100 degrees, so you can take another transmission. You won't heat anything up.
Roger, Roger. No, that radio gets hot enough. Nice and cool out here inside Studio G tonight. Number 27.
Number 27 is checked in. Sounding good, Dwayne, and back to the FT8. Do they do the California QSO party on FT8? Is that an acceptable mode for that?
I believe so, but I'm not sure. I didn't see anything on FT8 for California QSO party, but I only looked for a few minutes today.
Okay, yeah, the California QSO party is going on now. But I'm going to assume that 20 meters has closed down. And stations on 40. 40 was so bad today. It's just a bunch of noise out there. All right, we got you checked in.
Yeah, 40 and 30 were good on FT8, but that's all I looked at.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. I made some contacts today on the QSO party. So, all right, carry on, sir. Thanks for checking in.
Roger, Roger.
The L2 Radio Network is where you are at if you've tuned in. 27085 is the frequency, oldtuberadio.net, beaconing across your Universal Media Net web, and I think there's a YouTube video that happens to show up live and then not so live days and days after. Heading over to SWL 28. I don't know how much of a internet lag we have tonight. I will keep my eye out for those checking in from near and far out. We've got a proxy check-in for 29 Loner. We've got a real live check-in, and I know Dwayne is out there checking the conditions, and it's just nothing going on for RFI in Idaho. Got you in. Okay, and they said 21's radio was overheating and getting off frequency. Well, hopefully that's not what happened to me. Mine's overheating and doing some weird audio thing. Let's try SWL. I'm not sure I have a backup radio. I'm not sure what my backup radio is. I may have to work on that. Actually get a good radio for my backup, and then I'll do the backup all the time. SWL 31. SWL 32. And hello up in the balcony, just joining us. I guess they're letting people up through the stairs, and you can walk down into the green room. Georgetown, Ohio, Germantown, Wisconsin, Woodland Park, Colorado. I talked to Woodland Park. Where did I talk? I talked to Greeley. I talked to Greeley, Colorado today. I think I've even got a replay on that. We are looking for SWL 33. That should be an easy check-in. Bozo Control, the Jingle Singers, and all the crew around here it's still warm. Had a nice afternoon out by the pool, sitting under my favorite umbrella table, table 33. And I think I can't really see out through the windows here, but I know they are, because the pools, what you see behind the pool is way over on the other side. So I'm sure everybody is having fun out there. Over to SWL34. Jimmy, the purveyor of all things good on many Facebook pages, and Little Toot. I'll get them checked in. I bet they will be traveling through a little bit later. SWL 35 from, well, I'll say cool Cheyenne, but I checked the temperature a few days ago and it was up in the 80s, even in September. But Bill says tonight it is indeed cool Cheyenne, and I believe it. Thanks, Mr. Bill. Checking in where all things are good at Red Monkey Communications. And, oh, hey, there's SWL 13. Hello, Mike. We will get you checked in as well. I see you knocking. Over to SWL 36. Shortwave listener 37.
37 here, Dennis. And as you were talking about, you talked to somebody in Colorado. I talked to a gentleman yesterday out there in Pensacola, Florida, that listens to the net here every weekend. I want to give him a shout out, tell him to contact you and say hello. So, SWL 37.
Oh, okay. I don't think I see him. He's the W4 call, and should jump in and say hello, radio. John is listening in from Scranton, Arkansas. Hello, John. Cornbread is in. he's got the jingles on his alarm clock. I had them on my alarm clock, and that alarm clock is no longer near anywhere where I can hear it. And he says that this is one of those great sayings. Like Soupy Sales has a great saying. Never buy a television from a man on the corner who is out of breath. And Cornbread says he never met a tube radio that he didn't like. And same with me. And we will be meeting a lot of them coming up tonight. Chris, we've got you checked in. The radio's sounding good. Over to SWL 38. Shortwave listener 39. Oh, okay. We're having, this is take 2. Replay. Hello, 39. Hello, Dr. Dan. Come in. Over. 39 on the auxiliary. He's got the antenna pointed somewhere. It could be in the right direction, and I actually hear you. It's good to hear you on the old Tube Radio Network, and we are getting you checked in. I hope all is well. Yes, likewise at the old Tube Radio Network, we are, as usual, we're planning on checking in lots of tube radios and having a good time. And it has started so far so good. Thank you for remembering the Saturday night place to be, and you are checked in. Over. Let's go to SWL 40. SWL 41. SWL 42.
Yeah, it's Proxy and 42 in the game.
Okay, yeah, I know he's out there. He's kind of stealthy. It's the allotted 30 seconds of radio time every week, and you just got to be around at the right time. Getting a proxy check in for Mr. KW. And hello to Road Dog 507, who is out there checking in. 2 International Sideband 507 from Hudson Valley of New York. Saying hello to everyone. Over to SWL 43, Crazy Eddie. Got him checked in somewhere. He always sounds good on the Ditchit Banks sideband net. Hello to Reedley, the unknown SWL in San Francisco, checking in at oldtuberadio.net. Over to SWL 44. And he may not be wrong. I get Ray checked in. He's got some new elemental antenna hardware beaconing, and was sounding, what did they say? What did they used to say? Bodacious on the sideband net last night on the new antenna, the 4000. Let's go over to SWL 45.
Hello, Dennis. Sounding great so far. 45.
Yeah, I haven't managed to blow anything up, but it may try that. You are sounding good. I hope you and Kelly are doing fine business.
Doing good except for the smoke's about got me down. I'll tell you, it's bad up here.
Today was the worst day all day. It was really bad in the morning, then it got a little bit better, but bad. But the air quality index has been in the triple digits all day, which is basically unhealthy. And you can really, for those of us who have asthma and things of that nature, you can really feel it. So hopefully we will get those things straightened out. Thanks for checking in. And speaking of radio guys, Crazy Bob DJ is. I can't believe you aren't out spinning the tunes somewhere tonight. Or maybe you were and you just got back. Crazy Bob is online and reminds us that Monday is 10-4 day. That goes back to the 70s, right? 77, 78, I don't know. I think Jimmy Carter invoked the 10-4 day. So remember to get on your radio wherever it is, especially if it's on 40 meters. They'll like that. and give a big 10-4. Let's go over to SWL 46. SWL 47.
Well, good evening. Thankfully, from the radio lounge, this SWL 47, and I got to chime in. You know, you guys are chatting about the poor air quality. I got to tell you, I hopped on the motorcycle and grabbed my HT and offered my services to the Carp Club. They did SAG for the North Fork Grizzly Century bicycle ride this morning, and I'll tell you what, I still taste metal in my mouth just from the horrible air. And I'll tell you what, man, today was I can't tell you how much coffee I've had, and 2 Red Bulls on top of that. It's just, man, this air sucks the life out of you. But the air is good in the radio lounge. The only thing I smell is are warm vacuum tubes, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, the burning dust off the vacuum tubes never puts the air quality meters up above 25, but the fires do bad things. All right, well, hope you can recover. I've got that throat thing going on too, so I won't be hopefully doing too much talking tonight. You are sounding good. Glad you made it back to check in on the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, sir.
The Old Tube Radio Network. Oh, I want to say hello to Levon is in. Did I not see Mr. Levon? Yes. Checking in from Hudson Valley, 15 miles from Poughkeepsie. Wasn't that a famous thing they used to do on Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck? I used to like to talk about Poughkeepsie. We are looking for SWL 48. And Dwayne says, yeah, add a good buddy onto that 10-4 when you check into the 40-meter net and see what kind of mark they put by your name. Let's go to SWL 49. SWL 50.
50 here, checking it.
All right, 50. I figured you'd be in there. You sounded good last night on the sideband net, and equally as well here on the AM mode of operation. Thanks for checking in. And SWL 51, Dave out near Sanger.
SWL 51 out in Sanger, checking in.
Wow, big signal. Watch the replay. Look at that. Look at that modulation on the meter. Oh, I got the email. I'm going to check with Harvey. We might be able to use that stuff for fixing and recalibrating stuff that goes out. and keeps people on the air around here. That could be a good thing. Unless you, like I say, something else better comes up, I will get back to you, because it looks like that may be some nice stuff to have into the arsenal to keep stations on the air. So thanks for that. Over to SWL 52, SWL 53.
Hello, Dennis. 53 checking in.
Looking good and sounding good, Bob. Bel Air is in with the X in the square.
Thank you very much.
Page 3 is where we are at. A check-in for Mr. Board Jammer. Over to SWL 55.
55, checking in.
Sounding good out here in the Midtown neighborhood. Thanks for checking in.
Thanks, Dad.
And a reminder that the Tube Raiders are coming up shortly. So don't go away. Let's see. It's a 2-for-1. It's 2-for-1 day at OTR. The guy that checked in is 00, SWL 56.
56, just for kicks.
And we've got you in, like they say, who was it used to say? One more time. All right. Thanks for checking in and checking in. Over to SWL 57, I do believe 57. I've got the wrong page up here. I got the wrong page up. I do believe 57 is out there. Indeed, checking in. Good food, good friends, and good radios today. And happy 10-4 day back there to Central Kentucky. Thank you, 57. Yeah, I think there's probably a lot of video gates in the last 2 days. The bands open up a couple of days. Not today, really, but the last couple of days. And I even listened to one with Motormouth Mall coming into Pittsburgh at about 60 over when you couldn't barely hear anybody else. So the east-west conditions are in there. Let's go to SWL 58. Get 58 checked in. He's out in Tennessee. I talked to Tennessee today. Where did I? I'm checking my. Yeah, I'll get him checked in. We talked to Tennessee today. Let's go over to SWL 59. SWL 60.
Thank you, Dennis. Hope I'm getting over this noise level, terrible noise level that I have on this end. Evening time to you, the fellas. SWL 60 checking in.
SWL 60 sounding good on one of the big radios tonight, beaconing into OTR without a problem. Got the X in the square.
Thank you, Dennis.
Over to SWL 61.
61, checking in, Dennis.
And 61. Pulling me out of the mud. One more time. Dino, you always sounding good. We got you checked in.
Thank you so much.
Copenhagen at the microphonium. That takes us over to King Duckford. Yes, indeed. North Dakota, where it's probably like Cheyenne, Wyoming. Probably cool, calm, and collected. I see you online there, KD, and you are checked in. Let's go to SWL 63. Was Butterbean in on Old Radio Night tonight? Sometimes I'll look through the comments, but I didn't see him. I'll get him checked in if he was. Someone can let me know. SWL 64. Shortwave listener 65. And the mighty Juliet Whiskey. Hello, John. He's saying hello from Iowa tonight. KJG4755 from KEO 8492. Back in the day, right, where you do, that's two separate call stations. So we have to be on channel 11, which is good, or channel 12, or channel 13. I think that was allowable, so Good deal there. Let's go to, let me call SWL 65 again. SWL 66. It's dark in here. I can't see my meters. SWL 67. That's Bill in Canby, Oregon, who, as usual, let me through the front door. Or was it the back door? I don't know. I got in somehow. I think we snuck in by the pool. That's where all the action was today, and that's what's going on. There was a lot of people out by the pool. Check with Bob and Steve coming up and see what is happening out there, but it's looking good. Got you checked in, Bill. And let's see. Looks like our Echo Link is up and running. 354870 on the node. If you want to try a quick hello on the Echo Link, we'll check that out in a little bit. Over to SWL 68. Shortwave listener 69, Kenny in Tulsa. Kenny will be by. It's a little late in Tulsa, but he watches the video replay. So Kenny, watch the numbers up there, and when I hit this, it'll say, yes, you are checked in. Good to hear from you. I hope all is well. Over to, who is that? SWL 70, Mark.
Yes, sir, right here.
Okay, I figured you might be there. You have been radioactive on most of the nets, and maybe the radio room is the only one that doesn't have smoke.
No, it's here too. It's unpleasant, but it's cooler tonight, so we're enjoying that.
Yes, it is. It is not so cool in the radio room tonight. I should have opened the window more, but it is definitely better than it could be. I'm not even sure. I think it made 90 degrees today. A nice autumn day here on the Old Tube Radio Network. You are sounding good, and we have you checked in here on the AM side of things.
Thank you, Dennis.
Old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio's Glowing in the Dark, coming up. Want to say hello to, who just jumped in? Keith out there in Foreland from Rocky Mountain, Virginia. Hope all is working well. I was listening to the California QSO party. Didn't hear Virginia, but I did talk to a few people. In fact, let's see, SWL 71, Stan is in there. And Stan is the guy that reminded me that it was, Stan in Dallas, Georgia, that it was California QSO party. So let me just, I just want to prove to Stan that I actually do get on to the into the other radio here. So I'll do a little playback of earlier this morning when I actually got a chance to play Hammy Radio. Here we go.
Thank you for number 2 in Marin. Norway 4 Oscar X-ray. Norway 4 Oscar X-ray contest.
Kilowatt Bravo 6 Golf Foxtrot Delta.
Kilo Bravo 6 Golf Fox Delta. GFD 171 Florida.
Copy 171 Florida. You are number one Fresno.
Roger, thank you for Fresno. QRZ, anyone else in California? Norway 4 Oscar X-ray.
CQP, Tennessee calling, Whiskey 4, Kilowatt Whiskey.
Here is Kilowatt Bravo 6 Golf Foxtrot Delta.
Golf Foxtrot Delta. Okay, number and county, please.
All right, we're doing good. Number two, Fresno County. Over.
2 in the Fresno. Okay, the noise is just picked up here terribly. I don't know exactly what's going on. Okay, I got you. I'm sorry. Got the Fresno. Copy 139 Tennessee. 138 Tennessee. QSL.
All right, copy 138 Tennessee. You are my number 2 Fresno.
QSL, thank you much. Appreciate it. The noise just picked up here terribly bad. I don't know what's going on. Thank you much. I think we're going to QSY to 15's open right now. Thank you much. Good luck.
QRZ, Kilowatt 2, Kilowatt Radio.
Kilowatt Bravo 6 Golf Foxtrot Delta.
Kilo Bravo 6 Golf Foxtrot Delta. Please copy number 91 in Colorado, QSL.
All right, copy 91 in Colorado. You are my number 3 Fresno.
QSL, the number 3 in Fresno, and thank you for the new county. QRZ, Kilowatt 2, Kilowatt Radio.
All right, so I did something good. I gave somebody a new county there. But that's a little hammy radio. Notice I didn't give anybody a 10-4. I didn't jump the gun because that'll be on Monday. So talk to Jay. That was Fort David, Florida. Beltram in Greenbrier, Tennessee. And Michael in Greeley, Colorado. Wonder how far that is from our SWL up there in Greeley that we've heard beaconing through the airwaves here. So there you go, California QSO Party. One of the more fun contests for those of you like me who do not like to do contests. You are actually like the DX thing. People are looking for you. Yeah, it's a quick in and out on the contact, but it's nice and easy going. Everybody has a good time. All right, enough hammy radio stuff. Back to the old Tube Radio Network. And thank you, Stan. There you go. 3 contacts. And there's more tomorrow until whatever time they go off. I think it's 4 p.m. or something like that. Let's go to SWL 72. SWL 73. And I bet I'm going to give John a check-in. I bet he was working the CW part of CQP. So John's checked in. Let's go to SWL 74. Shortwave listener 75. SWL 77.
Well, good evening, Dennis, and that was pretty cool. And hello to all the listeners, and 73s to everyone. 77 on the Tower of Power out of the Tower District, checking in.
All right, Big Signal is always on the S meter, and audio most excellent. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you.
And let's see, I hear someone singing happy birthday to Mr. OBP SWL2. Yeah, I think there's going to be birthday cake out near the pool. So get some of that OBP birthday cake out at the pool. Over to SWL 78, Richard in Wild Wildemar, who is listening and preparing for the 10-4 day and some other things as well. I don't know what is going on. Wild Wildemar, where the men... I'm going to read this call. Let's see if I get myself in trouble. Where the men are handsome, the women are beautiful, and the children well behaved. Well, that sounds like that place on that other radio show. So it's good to know. Anyway, Richard, you are checked in. Over to SWL 79. I was waiting for Philip. He will pop in there. Let's try SWL 80. And let's see. Are we ready for? Oh, before we totally turn the page, let's find out. Let's go way over to Ohio and see what's going on with the Bob and Steve show tonight.
27.085 OTR channel 11.
All right, so much for my technical radio skills tonight. Bob and Steve, the Jingle Singers, are coming to you from the poolside tonight. We have not heard from them yet. I heard Mr. Announcer, but I know we hooked up the RCA 77 DX ribbon microphone far enough away from the pool not to have a problem. But it's a nice microphone. Everybody can just kind of join around and do their thing. So we'll be hearing from that. It says they enjoy the pool. Well, they're going to be able to enjoy it for probably another month. And then it might get a little cold. But no doubt our crew will figure out a way to make things nice out there. They put in a volleyball, that's what was going on, put in a Volleyball USA net at the end of the pool, 5-foot section, great fun. Also have set up a pool basketball goal. Yeah, I tried that. I got dunked. I got dunked. I'm not very good at all that stuff, so they kind of like to to pick on me, but it's out there. Tonight we have about 25 people checking in from poolside at the tables. I told them to proxy me in from table 33, because I have to be here. Radios are connected, antennas are working. Yes, it is. You can hear. I believe I was at table 33 when I was working the California QSO party this morning, and it worked out pretty good. By the end of the pool, they also have a 35 by 35 foot projection screen playing the OTR broadcast live. Now that is a pretty scary thought at 35 feet. At least when I'm on. When the radios are on, it should be nice. And what else? A Samsung 292-inch live TV of OTR looking good. I didn't know there was such a thing. Come join us all after the net at the pool. Bring your rain gear. No, it's not going to rain yet, but maybe, we're doing the big Fresno Fair through the end of next 2 weeks, and it always rains on the fair at some time. So, yeah, it probably will rain on our pool parade. Cold Water Brewery is providing the drinks tonight. The Grill in Lake Tahoe is doing the other stuff. It's nice. And as always, we like to say, don't forget to feed the fish.
27.085 OTR, Channel 11.
Let the radio cool off a little bit. Over to SWL 81, Mr. Unicorn. I will get Steve Areno checked in because I believe he is out there. Over to, and this guy was busy today. He was all around, so it might be a well-deserved nap time. I don't know. SWL 82.
82, back from Dos Palace, from Eagle Field, and made it back. We listened in the mobile for a while and just skated on in here. So good to hear you out there, Dennis. Thanks for running the net.
All right, I don't know where Ron gets all his energy to do all the things that he does, including on Friday evenings the Ditch Banks sideband net on your favorite frequency, channel 36 LSB. That's 27365 at 8 p.m. A sideband type net here in Central California that is open to everyone, even those DX stations that say 10-4. You say 10-4, I think you get an extra check-in. Thanks, Ron. You're sounding good.
All right, Dennis. Thanks for doing the net.
And Levon, I checked. They have all sorts of stuff. They do have low sugar cake. They've even got vegetarian stuff if you want it there. They cater to anybody and everybody. But the main spread is always the big deal. Let's go over to SWL 83. Getting a check-in for SWL 84. And as we often do, let me do the ceremonial lighting of the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223, courtesy, there it is, of SWL 84, 86, 87, and 88. And it's humming along. Looking good here at the old Tube Radio studio. SWL 85. Got 86, 87, and 88 checked in. That is Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, and Snowy Owl, respectively. Over to SWL 89. Got a proxy check-in for SWL 90. Over to SWL 91. My mouse is not cooperating, but I know Felix is there. And there he is. I saw him earlier. We've got the check in the square, the birthday cake. He's got the birthday cake and all the good things. Thanks for staying up late out there. Somewhere in the Bronx, looking good. Thanks, Felix. Always enjoy your video selections on, what do they call that, memes? I don't know. Whatever it is, it's good. Let's go to SWL 92. SWL 93. SWL 95, Warthog 95, out there in Foreland, and Warthog, I think you may be the station you talked with one of our locals here, Chris, on one of the sideband frequencies, no doubt. And you will be hearing his general radio telephone tonight. I wish we had conditions at night to chat with you as well, but sounding good, or looking good, I should say, from Orlando tonight, SWL 95. SWL 96. And let me backtrack. Page 2, pick up Gary. 28 out there in Sacramento, where I hope you're not having any smoke. I think you guys are too far away. You're kind of in between all the fires and stuff. So, all right, Gary, we've got you checked in, so run back out, do whatever you needed to do, get set up, and you should be back just in time for the radios tonight. Thanks for stopping by. Let me try SWL 96 again. Over to SWL 97. Boston 97, checking in and saying good evening, and I will say good evening right back. And let's go over. We made it to page 2. I can make it back to page 1, and I had a proxy check-in for Charlie, SWL 16. So, Charles, I got you checked in, and likewise, thanks for running in. We've got you checked in, and go do what you need to do, and you'll be back for the radios. I hope there will be some radios tonight. 97 is in. SWL 98. Tracy, okay, got you checked in, and I can't remember if you said you were going to be rearranging or changing some things in the radio station. So if you're gone for a week or two, I will make sure to get you checked in here on the old Tube Radio Network. And oh yeah, okay, that's what it was, the surgery. So yeah. Listen in, right? Tune in, oldtuberadio.net, and we will definitely get you checked in. And maybe, if I can, sometimes I can stream the other nets too. Maybe I'll stream the Friday night net. You can tune in same time, same channel right here, just different day. All right, thanks, Tracy. And I know you will do well on the recovery, so we'll look forward to talking to you. Thanks for checking in. Over to SWL 99. And SWL 100. Oh, that is, you know what, Tony, if you're listening and it's not too much of a delay, it'd be a good chance for me to go over and try the 23 Skidoo Echo Link, which I will do if I can remember which buttons to press, and we'll see. We can't get a check in here. KB6GFD, hello. Oh, no, Tony is, I think Tony is gone. Well, who wants to pick it up? All right, I'll tell you what. Tony checked in earlier. Let's pick up Mr. 23 Skidoo. See if you're out there. Tell us what's going in. So we'll pick up Mitch. Over. All right, I think Tony checked out, so we'll pick up Mitch.
The station you have called cannot hear you or is not in service. Please pump it up or try your call again later. Recording 242.
You know, it's something I'm doing.
Please check in SWL 100, 84BAO.
All right, you there it is. Tony snuck in. We've got 100 checked in, and somehow I called the wrong number. I hook up to the wrong link. I think I need the green clip lead instead of the red clip lead to do it correctly. 100, you're in. You're sounding good, making the connection here on the Echo Link. Thanks for talking with us tonight. KB6GFD. I'll have to check. There may be a slot on my Echo Link where I need to put in an extra quarter to get that extra 2 minutes. All right, 100 is checked in. Let me mark the item there. Boom. All right, over to SWL 103. I hope I'm not being blocked. on the Echolink. I don't think so. We'll try it a little bit later. SWL 109. You know, at first I thought that was Chrissy. Chrissy, I thought that was you doing one of your famous voices, trying to slip us up on the Echolink, but I think that was the real deal. Let's go to SWL 110. SWL 111 from Reedley. Robert is checking in over oldtuberadio.net, and he said, do not forget to get on the radio on the 4th, 10-4, on 10-4 day. That's coming up Monday. Got you checked in, Robert. SWL 113. SWL 114. And Wayne must be on the extended vacation. SWL 128. I'm checking my, almost an hour ago. John got in early. So he may have an early call out there in Fairfax, Virginia. Got you checked in, John? Over to SWL 131. SWL 133. Shortwave listener 135.
SWL 135 checking in.
Checking in, and I like that audio, which tells me at least I will have one radio on my list tonight. So good deal. Stand by. Got a proxy check in for SWL 137. And let's go up to, where are we going? Course Gold, SWL 145, over.
Well, good evening, Dennis and my fellow patient SWL. Tony SWL 145 checking in. I'll keep it short so you can get to them tube radios. Thank you for running the net. Thank you for the call.
All right, thank you for checking in. Hey, I enjoyed you taught me something on the Friday morning net with your question about the radio antennas. I had never thought much about automobile radio antennas because I'm just used to seeing, even on the 49 Fords, the rod antenna out of the front fender. But yes, indeed, on the earlier cars of the 1930s, where you could get a radio, but it was a big luxury option. A radio was an expensive thing, and they sort of had to pull it apart and put the various pieces around the automobile, but have the control panel up where you could reach it by the steering controls. But what did they do for an antenna? And Tony educated us with his question that they used wire underneath the vehicle, sort of in a V configuration, where they took the wire up near the front of the car and V'd it out under the running boards and attached it with springs so that it wouldn't break. So the next time you see one of those old cars somewhere with the running boards, stick your head under the... Talk to the owner and say, I want to look for your antenna, and look underneath the vehicle on the running boards, and you might see some wires on some strings, and that is the long wire antennas they used for the AM broadcast stations back then, like KDKA and WLW and WXYZ beaconing with their 20,000, 10,000, 50,000 watts. I don't think that would work too good for picking up OTR. Got you checked in, Tony.
All right, thanks, Dennis. It's a pleasure hearing you Friday morning.
Indeed. Sort of like a submarine thing. I guess it wouldn't be practical to put those wires over the top, although it seems like it would have been a better way to do it. Over to SWL 147, looking for Neil, who checked in earlier. I'm looking for something he might have said. There it is. Kakalaki is checking in the house West Coast and has received yesterday. Yeah, it was a big day. We had that solar clash coming to Earth. The sunspot numbers were up, and the east-west skip was running great. Like I said, I heard Mortarmouth Mall on a video gate from Pittsburgh doing about 60 over. Contacts in Sacramento. We've got some people that listen from Sacramento. Maybe talk to Gary. The Mojave Desert, but all quiet today. Yes, it was. It was very quiet today, not like yesterday. and renewed his call sign. That is good. Sometimes I forget, but I'm glad you did, and I will look forward, hopefully, to chatting with you on the other radio bands at some point. Got you checked in. Neil out of Kakalaki. Let's go to SWL 188.
Good evening time, Dennis. Good evening time to all SWLs. 188 Snow Beast checking in.
All right, 188 looking good on the meter, pushing up to 20 over, which would let me think that he might be mobile down the street, but he is not. He's on the big station tonight. The station that can get Motormouth Mall a run for his money in Pittsburgh. We got you checked in.
I wish, but thank you.
Let's see. Heard Tony in Course Gold. Let's go back to Course Gold for SWL 195. All right, audio is a little weak, but I know it was you. I've got you checked in from hopefully not too smoky Course Gold, but I bet it is. So Jim is in, then over to 226 Shockwave. And up from the basement, it looks like the flashlight batteries are out, so he's got the kerosene lantern. Be careful with that thing, Larry. All right, SWL 40 is in. And anybody else I might have missed, OTR is listening. All right, let me try. I just wanted to try one more Echolink contact here, make sure that we do have the connection. So Keith is listening in from Foreland. Let me see if Keith is out there. KW4SR on the delay from KB6GFD. Take a transmission on Echolink. Over.
Hello, Dennis, KW4SR. Yeah, here on the East Coast. I'm hearing you very well out here this evening. Over.
All right, that is a good thing. Talked to a few stations on 20 meters and 15 meters for the California QSO party this afternoon, and if conditions permit, I might try it again before the contest ends, so maybe hear you out there on 20 meters. Sounding good here on the Echolink, and thanks for checking in with the Old Tube Radio Network tonight. Over, KB6GFD.
Okay, Dennis, very good. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of you Californians on the air this afternoon, this evening, with the DX party going on. I've been sitting in the shack working on an amplifier and listening. Haven't done much talking today, though. But, yeah, thanks for letting me check in. And, yeah, doing a good job as usual, and we will continue listening. KW4SR.
All right, 73, sounding good, KB6GFD. And with that, I will run away for a moment to get everything set up at the Tube radios, which is a good thing because we like those Tube radios on the Old Tube Radio Network. Back in a moment with your radio check-ins.
This is a test of the non-emergency broadcasting system. This is only a test. If this had been an actual non-emergency, you would have been instructed where not to tune for more information. This concludes this test of the non-emergency broadcasting system.
And now that we have all the non-emergencies out of the way, you are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. And now that we have all the non-emergencies out of the way,
you may not find us on TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Yes, the Old Tube Radio Network. I'm being plagued by the echo monster there, but I think I have figured that out. We will venture to guess. I'm not hearing myself echoing, so that's a good thing. And the good thing now, the real good thing is we are going to be checking in the tube radios. So without any further ado, I'm going to say, bring it on. OTR is listening for your radio check-ins. Over.
Number 735135.
45.
All right, 3 heard. And we will take them in the order that I got them. So let's see, 45. Hi, Paul. You'll be radio 3. Paul, you will be radio 3. 135 Cliff will be radio number 2. And just a reminder that you don't have to have any type of numbers or have ever checked into the Old Tube Radio Network to stop by and put your radio on the air. So keep that in mind when you find that thing in the closet that you totally forgot about, and it looks like it works. Bring it by on the Old Tube Radio Network. Stepping up in the air chair here at 903 will be Ed. Mr. Ed, I hope I am making it through your noises of all noises. Go ahead.
No major noise at the moment. I won't mention that again. But anyway, yes, the tram TR27 Echo 23 channel transmit and receive.
Should have a picture of a 27E. I should have the picture of the 27E, which is indeed the one on which you are talking. Looks pretty green, looks pretty big, and back to you for a transmission as always, sounding very tubey and good on OTR.
There you go. Yeah, the good old tram with the Electro Voice 638 microphone. And yeah, it's been on the top shelf ever since I got this radio. So yeah, good worker. Unfortunately, I did have a couple of tubes that decided to go, but hey, that's one of the things with tube radios. Replace the tubes and keep going.
Oh no, well, at least you found them. It's like a car. At some point when you least expect it, right, you're going to see the water dripping out of the radiator, or the starter isn't going to want to do what it wants to do, or whatever, and you make the repair, and you have done good with yours. It seems like it's working well. All the tubes, at least the ones that we need to function or to hear you function, are doing well. Hopefully I'm putting some good 9 pounds good modulation on your S meter, and back to you.
Yes, definitely over the 9, into the green, doing very well on the old S meter here, which I can even see without my glasses, because it's fairly large, about 3.5 inches wide and 3 inches tall, 5x7 speaker, just a big radio.
It is a big radio. Had a little interesting audio thing going on there, but I think it fixed itself. Maybe those tubes are settling in on the Tram TR-27E from 1963. Maybe you found one of those original 1963 tubes, and I don't know if you did if you have the Tram advertisements that had all the little hints and kinks on the tune-ups, but I think it's working well. Channel 11 is where the receive tuning is. Also on the XBit channel, transmit channel window, that little dinky window, there's probably an 11. Take another transmission. We like starting off with the big radios.
Yeah, it is kind of funny how it has that little tiny dinky window for your transmit channel. Everything else is really big except for the window for transmit. That's kind of weird, but that's what they did. I like the radio, and with that, we'll turn it back to you because I know there's a couple more waiting.
Yes, there is. I even put on the close-up, and I could see their little numbers beaconing through the hole there, so should always know where you are. But I know that radio pretty much stays on Channel 11 for the old Tube Radio Network, and we appreciate that. Radio number 1 starting us off, the Tram TR-27E. Thank you, Mr. Ed. And then stepping up from poolside, coming up into the air chair, Mr. Green Arrow Cliff. Hopefully they did not throw you in the pool like they did me.
That would be a bad thing. There's no water in the pool.
Okay, you must be on the other one. Maybe they drained it to fix the volleyball nets. Anyway, I am ready with your radio number 2. Over.
Okay, groovy. First off, I want to say, I heard you on the early risers net. They're talking about putting the antennas in the running boards. It's one of the questions. What was the other one? Oh, it was a WXYZ and Lone Ranger and all that. That was an easy one. But I don't hear you out there too often. I sandbag and listen on 718 to the early risers occasionally, and imagine my surprise when I heard you in there. Real quick question before we begin. You said something about Echolink. Were you checking in on the Echolink, or were you live on the repeater?
For the early risers net, because I'm usually doing things in the morning, so sometimes I can't get in on Fridays because my schedule is different. I am using Echolink. In fact, I am not sure if I've ever tried it on the two-way radio that sits right over here, which probably would make that repeater no problem. Just where I'm at, it works better on the Echolink. So yes, I was coming through on the Echolink link that shows up for, I think, that repeater's call sign.
Okay, I was just curious because I remember you said something about it, and I thought, what? Because that should be a real easy repeater to get into. It covers a huge range, huge distance. Anyway, okay, let me try the old brother transmission here. Let's see, is it working? Is everything working? Everything appears to be working. Okay, from Bristol, Indiana, this is the Demco satellite. Speaking of big radios, there's a big pile of radios is what this is. And that consists of the, the R, great, the neighbors are having a party. The R101A receiver, the T110A transmitter, the T102 speaker, whatever it is. And of course the Demco modulator, which is on. We've got all 23 channels. Crystal controlled transmit on the transmitter, and VFO, and some what do you call these memory channels on the receiver, all of which appear to be working. Oh, and how could I forget? Yes, of course, that's incidentally with the modulator, which has 2 tubes in it. That's 15 tubes altogether. And that includes on the transmitter the EM87, if I remember correctly. I hope I do. The EM87 Magic Eye modulation indicator on the transmitter. Back to you.
Very good. All right. I may not have the proper picture up because I think we have one from your station, but it looks like they're not set up correctly on my Rolodex here when I go to the R or to the 101. I'm showing a satellite, and it has the Demco modulator that actually is built into the speaker. Is yours the same?
Negative. No, it's the speaker is separate from the modulator. I have it sitting on top of there right now. Try looking at the Demco satellite CB1. If you see that in the Rolodex, I think that's where they stuck my picture.
Oh, all right. Let me try that. I've got a CB1 and a CB1A. And, all right, this may be a little bit more true to form. Yes, that is the modulator that I was thinking of. It's this, the standalone box. The microphone goes in, the satellite speaker separate above it, and there is indeed the magic eye. This is a lot of radio. This one does not just sit down and key the microphonium. You've got a lot of stuff to do before you can get on the air.
Yeah, oops, excuse me. Yeah, it's one of the reasons I don't drag this out too often. It's a lot of hassle, and it does occupy the entire picnic table back here. No matter how you push it together. Now, if you've got my picture up there, is that the one with the D104?
That is the one with the D104. Over.
Yeah, gosh, I gotta take a new picture of this sometime, because this mic, aesthetically, anyways, goes much better with the radio. I'm actually on a Turner Super Sidekick, which everybody agreed sounded a whole lot better than the D104 did. And you can also use this picture if you want for my Golden Eagle. I think that picture shows above in the rafters my R68 T68 Golden Eagle. So that picture works for a couple of different things. But no, this is the Turner Super Sidekick microphone. And the black and chrome of the mic, goes, I say, visually so much better with this radio, and I was happy that the sound did as well.
Yes, it does. I just switched over to the S meter, and you are S9 +5 on the modulation, so you are pretty much full quieting, and the audio sounds good. I'm looking at the two radios. Both have separate meters. Obviously, the receiver is going to have your S meter, and I see the green on that. And then the transmitter, is the meter switchable? I guess I'll go to a close-up. And I see there's another switch under the meter and some lights. So does the meter switch to various functions on transmit? Over?
Oh, yes, it does. Yeah, on the receiver, which goes into the green, which is always nice, kind of like the trams do. That's just S units and decibels over S9, which goes up to 60, which again is also like the tram. Anyway, on the transmitter, that's volts on top and milliamps on the bottom scale, and you dip your milliamps with you'll see two knobs possibly there. If you got, I don't know if the picture's good enough, but the plate tuning and the antenna tuning are big knobs on the front of the transmitter, and so you use the milliamps there to dip that low as you adjust them, and hopefully it does the JOB.
It certainly does. I never knew that it had the plate and the load controls. Asking a lot. And the CB radio is supposed to be more of a non-technical, non-amateur radio, non-hobby thing, but boy, this radio really requires you to have read the supplied manual, and not like today, where you have to go online to find it. I'm sure it had a booklet that told you how to do everything, and you have done it well on the Demco satellite. It's called the CB1 here, but you gave it the 101 number. And it works well, and I see why. So it's a treat that you brought it by. Like you said, it's a little bit of a chore to keep it up, but it works well. The Demco modulator working well. That particular Demco modulator, I believe you could buy as a separate unit. I knew some stations back in my early CB days that would buy that very modulator, and I think it has two tubes in it, and they would use it for their other radios because they wanted to sound good. Back to you for transmission. You are Radio 2 a radio that we don't often hear, and yes, I will try and remember that, and I'm pulling the picture up right now, that there is the R68 T68 in all its glory, and the microphonium, and what looks like a Hallicrafters perhaps, and some other stuff which we'll talk about later. Love the Radio Shack. Back to you.
Well, yeah, thanks, and it is. That's why I haven't dragged this thing out in like 3 years. It needed a lot of cleaning. But yeah, that's why. It's even bringing it out onto the desk, as pictured, is a big hassle. But dragging it out here into the backyard is many, many trips, and it can be a pain. But and I was going to say, as far as CB radios goes, this is, if it's not the most complicated, it's certainly among the most complicated things. There's just all sorts of stuff to do. There's no RF gain on here, right? So on the receiver, you have distance, local, and audio compressor. It even has a compressor for receive audio, which actually works pretty good, for listening to people with low audio. And then, somebody like Harvey comes in and with my other radios would just blow them off the tabletop. It evens it out. So I'm not sure, it says audio compressor, but I'm not sure if it acts like an ANL, automatic noise limiter, or it is a gain control. And yeah, just so much complicated stuff. There's the spotting, it's called calibrate on this. The normal spotting you get on a lot of these radios to spot your receive. So yeah, they really expected an awful lot of the operator. And the manual is available on CB Tricks, and if you got one of these, I highly recommend downloading it, because there's a lot of stuff to know.
Yeah, it certainly appears that way. I wonder if it changed the AGC circuitry somehow on that receive. You know how you have a separate, different AGCs, fast, medium, and slow, and typically I think they put the AM on fast, and the sideband can be anywhere, but maybe it did something like that where it just compresses it just by running your AGC a little bit slower. But that, you might be able to tell by moving it around in them, and somebody on keys, you'd see the meter go back a lot slower than it normally would. But that would smooth the audio out a little bit. One of our listeners says, finally a Demco. And so you're making some people happy with that. And JT had the Demco bell. And I'll guarantee you, I don't think we have rung the Demco bell more than once this year in 2021. So if JT's out there and watches the replay or whatever, he will be ringing the Demco bell. And, that's the other thing we've discussite before. 23 Skidoo mentioning that interesting that it's spelled, and we've talked about this before, satellite, S-A-T-E-L, with one L, I-T-E with one L. In the space age infancy when the radio came out. So I don't know. I wonder if they thought it was copyrighted, or they maybe thought it, people would think you had to put some rocket fuel into it. But you have the satellite 1L, and it's working well over.
Well, that's good to hear. I did a lot of work on it last night and today, because it was not working well at all. In fact, I'm surprised it's behaving as well as it is right now, because it was a mess. But I took all the units apart and did a lot of tweaking and cleaning on everything. Yes, and before I forget to mention that the EM87 Magic Eye is my first entry this month into the spooky Magic Eye radios. Of which there will, hopefully, if everything keeps working, there will be more as the month goes on. Back to you, and with that, I'll see you.
All right, back to me in the studio. Thanks for the Demco. There is a Facebook page for fans of Demco, Browning, and Sonar, I think. So maybe a few of them will see the replay on this. But we'll tell them about it. Radio number 2. Demco Satellite, 3-piece, actually 4-piece radio station when you consider the speaker and Demco modulator along with the receiver. Thanks for taking the extra time to bring it by. I wanted to spend a little time with that radio because it is or should be a fan favorite. Thank you, the Old Tube Radio Network. And Paul up there in North Fork is being very patient. Thanks, Paul, for standing by. Can you still hear me over?
check in my general radio telephone, Super MC9.
From General Radio Telephone, sort of in the middle of the run. I think the first Super series for General Radio Telephone was the 8. This should also be a 23-channel radio. Let me check the Rolodex for the Master Control. Super Master Control number 9. If we're lucky, we might even have a picture from Paul's collection, which we do. Let me bring it up. One of the old pictures back in the day when there were lots of trees out that way. Give us a transmission on the Super MC9 over.
Yeah, sure were a lot of trees in. Boy, we're sure smelling them today. They're not my trees that are smelling. Anyway, this is the radio. It was manufactured in 1966. It's 10 tuber, 24 channel. That's the silver era for show 27 620 crystal of the thing. The 24 slot. That's the first radio general that had the ETLL 800, so it was the start of the big boys there. And they continue to get bigger after this is back to you.
Yeah, each year sort of the new model, trying to probably look in what tram and sonar and other people were doing and seeing what can we do? What's that little extra thing we can put in there? But they pretty much, when they came out with the 9 and the 8 had it down. It didn't have to do too much. The 10 tubes, let's see, ECLL 800, I think it has a 12AX7. Yeah, it's got the 12AX7 in the mic preamp, 6BQ7. It will run off 115 volt AC or 12 volt DC, believe it or not, even though they had the vibration service series as well. You just have to have the right cord for it. And if you go to Sam's book 16, you'll find out more about it on page 39. It's a, let's see, the receive. Oh, it's still not crystal controlled on the receive. Is that correct? It looks like it has a continuously tunable receiver up there, but you do have 23 channels elsewhere.
Okay, I missed a little bit of that as somebody come in. Anyway, this thing has an AB1 modulator in the thing, and this is the first general to have that bandpass tuner. You may have said something about that, but it's like a VXO for each channel. Really neat. I mean, if you get one little off, you can turn it and change it easily up here with no problem. I just got a speaker real cut into the front of the thing, other than the other railroad that chamber cut as 9. Anyway, I'm running a telephone, general radio telephone MCM2, and that's that real heavy zinc aluminum die-cast that foam made by Turner. I mean, it's a heavy microphone. You know what I'm talking about. Back to you.
Yeah, I think that's the one up in the picture. And it's sort of hanging up on the top of the set. But yeah, it looks pretty much heavy duty. And if it falls on the floor, if it falls on the tile floor, it may break the tile. It definitely won't break the microphonium itself. From Paul up in North Fork, about 30 or 40 miles to the north and the east, up near, 2,000, 2,500 foot elevation, up with the smoke here in the Central Valley tonight, but the MC9 is beaconing through quite nicely. Thanks, Paul. If you can hear me, give us another transmission before you go. Thanks for bringing it by.
Yeah, you're just fine. It's a great night so far. I'll tell you, really nice. You're sounding real good, Dennis. And thanks for checking in that CM2 radio channel.
All right, working well. Thanks for radio number 3 tonight. Jingle Singers are poolside. They are ready to go. So I'm not gonna hold them up. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. For music and the latest news from home and from afar, the station for you is
OTR, Old Tube Radio.
The station for you is
OTR.
And we are listening for radio number 4.
Number 7.
That sounds like a good candidate for number 4 at 9:25 Pacific Daylight Time. Hello, Mr. Ed.
And hello to OTR Net Control, and of course Bozo Control. Yes, this is the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB with the Golden Eagle D104 microphone.
Looking for a shot here because I want to get that Golden Eagle microphonium, and we do have one. Looks a lot like that, and sounds a lot like this. Back to you.
Oh, there you go. The good old Golden Eagle microphone and the Golden Eagle SSB. I haven't used it on the sideband in quite some time, but always use it here on 11. Unfortunately, everybody on the sideband is up at 38, and this one doesn't go there. I can listen, though.
That's right. It does have a 40-channel receiver. Did you have that radio in your collection? It might have been around the Valley, but did you have it in your collection back when Kevin was running what we called here on Friday nights the old tube radio sideband net?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I did, and this radio ran on that sideband net.
Good deal. Yeah, you've got to tweak them just a little bit sometimes with the squelch control or work the ping, because they have an interesting the ping, which sounds, I mean, we're all used to hearing it on AM. When it gets on sideband, it has a most interesting sound.
Yes, and everybody seems to have a little bit different receive, so you had to get kind of in between a couple of different people.
Yeah, but the cool thing about that transmitter, let me go to the close-up. If you look down on the transmitter, which we're doing, there is a knob, I think it's above the spot button to the right side of the channel selector, and that actually, and I still don't know how they got away with this. Well, I know how they did it. It actually adjusts your transmit frequency. Was it plus or minus 700? Browning was smart enough to know that the FCC allowed you to be crystal controlled, and that they allowed you to have a tolerance of about 700 cycles, I think, plus or minus from the center of that crystal frequency. And so that they dialed in, wouldn't call it a VFO because you're still on crystal. They dialed in a thing to tweak that crystal, those 700s up and down, so that you could sort of match the transmit and the receive frequency, which is a blessing, like you said, when the third party is listening and trying to figure out who am I supposed to tune to.
Oh, there you go. And yeah, with the advent of also the SDRs and the Spectrum scope and stuff like that, yeah, you can line it right up to where you need to go, 700 either way. This one should be pretty well on.
I didn't check it, but I'm sure it is. I didn't make me look up and think, maybe I should make an adjustment. And at 20 over, it is definitely well on. SWL 30, Dwayne mentioning that the Eagles have landed, and indeed they have. Radio number 4, the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB with indeed the Golden Eagle microphonium. Thanks for bringing it by the Old Tube Radio Network tonight.
And one long ping to send off with. All right, there you go.
Flipping the switch for the long ping. Sounded good. Thanks for bringing it by, and we are listening for Radio 5. Hey, Paul, you caught me playing with my controls on the audio board. I hear you. I think you've got Radio 5. Over.
Okay. I'm not too sure how anything is flying tonight for all the smoke, but anyway, I'd like to take it my Midland 13890.
From Midland, who really liked that 13-something number. You have to talk to somebody at Midland. What was the what was the purpose of their 13 dash? Let me see if I can find your number again. Give me the Midland number again. Over.
13-890.
All right, I have looked through the Rolodex and have found a 13890. It looks like it might even have your name attached to it. Oh yeah, this is the very interesting Midland. And I wasn't, until I started doing old tube radio a lot, I didn't realize that Midland ever had a tube radio, because I was so used to, back in the early 70s, seeing the small Midland mobiles, and just seemed like Pace and Midland had just lots and lots of various configured mobile stations, and then really kind of piqued my interest when you checked in with this one, the 13890. There it is, right full on the screen. Take another transmission. We'll see what we can find out about this one.
Okay. First of all, I'd like to thank the guy, Mitch Schill, found the schematic for this thing. I couldn't find it anywhere. It's not in the SAM, so I appreciate the guys out there listening in and help you out. Anyway, it's an interesting radio. I manufactured in Japan in 1968. And I don't know who was the one here in the United States put it on Midland. I guess wanted them to do all the work on that, and this particular radio, which is kind of rare, I thought. But it's a neat radio. It's a big radio, as you can see by the front of the thing. It's got a big modulation vital on the left, and it's got a meter in the middle, and everything's working on this one. It's got that turn on. You always ask me about that, if that's factory. I believe it is. That you turn off and on the right-hand top. And that's got the standby on it too, so it's got the whole shebang on it. Anyway, Midland's still making it. Back to you.
Looking good. We just zoomed in on it. It's got the S meter, all 23 channels. So this was a top-of-the-line radio for Midland, top-of-the-line base station. Had the PA, also had the Delta Tune, the fine-tune knob, and we see the power meter there. Yeah, Mitch, 23 Skidoo is good at, he's archiving a lot of these radios for, I think, a publication that he will be doing. And if I remember correctly, this might be one of the elusive Panasonic chassis, but an earlier version. We're used to the second version of Panasonic chassis that shows up a lot with the Robbins and so. So this may be one of the early ones. But I think that's what he found out for you, so it's good. Looks like it has a lot of, I'm looking at the top, a lot of ventilation in the top, so if it runs hot, not a problem. Also has the microphone and the phone jack. I bet you've plugged that microphone into the wrong jack a couple of times. Over.
The microphone's a Turner AM+2U mic on the thing. I never got a factory mic on it, and probably never will. So you have to take what you get. Back to you.
Well, the one you have is supplying plenty of audio. When you do the next transmission, what I'll do is I'll put up the S meter and also take a frequency check before you go. So back over to you on the Midland 13890. Over.
Yeah, okay. Out there. They're all a little bit different. I like it a whole lot. Back to you.
We like it too. Anything that glows in the dark is always nice. In the Old Tube Radio Network, audio is good when I go to the sideband, and it looks like it might be about 300 cycles low, which is certainly not a problem at all for the receiver here at the Old Tube Radio Network. Our Radio 5 tonight at 9:30. A very rare one indeed, especially for those of us who remember the Midland Mobiles. This is their base radio that glows in the dark, the 13890. Thanks for bringing it by tonight.
Thanks for checking it in, Derek.
The Old Tube Radio. What we do best is checking in those tube radios.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, your favorite spot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
Standing by for radio number 6.
Wiki.
And I didn't hear if the Bulldogs played tonight or today or not. Maybe it was Hawaii. If it's Hawaii, it's an early game. The Quickie. This is your Quickie frequency. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry to take up more time, but there was one thing I wanted to do I didn't get to do. I want to switch out the Demco modulator in and out to see what it sounds like.
Oh, good. You know, I have the Orban loudness meter on, so when you do the switch, you know, get your poetry book out and do about a 10-second transmission for each one. That gives the meter time to lock in. And we'll look at the LKFS numbers, and we'll see the higher the number, the higher the minus number, the more the perceived loudness, according to Mr. Robert Orban. So we'll see if we can't figure out if one actually shows up louder than the other. So over to you.
Okay, yeah, I've had it on the whole time, because that was the consensus, but I want to listen to the playback and hear what it sounds like myself. And yeah, that's interesting. The more minus the number, the higher the modulation. Okay, yeah, whatever. Anyway, so this is the Demco modulator in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and this is it out. It is now bypassed from the circuitry 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Suffering, succotash, and sizzling sibilant. So how's that? Let's see, let's go back in. This is with it back on, back into the circuit, I should say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can't think of any poetry.
Well, that was pretty good. I think that was pretty good for the Old Tube Radio Network poetry. All right, you have proven that the Demco modulator, the two tubes in the Demco modulator, are helping your loudness coefficient. So modulator N, LKFS peaking at minus 19 to, you know, high minus 18, and then with the modulator out, a difference in the tone quality, drops sort of the low end off, and the LKFS goes to, don't ask me for what that stands for because I don't remember. The LKFS goes down to about a minus 21 or so. So you lose a couple of points on the loudness. Certainly the intelligibility is still there, but the fullness and the body is definitely improved by those two modulator tubes over.
Yeah, just two little tubes. That's all it is, really, is a microphone. It's a tube-type microphone amplifier, which I think we don't get to hear much on the air here. It's usually the little transistor ones built into the bottom of D104s. Oh, and back to the subject of Demco real quick. I did check in my Travelier earlier this year, so the Demco guys should have rung a bell at some point there, I guess. But those are the only two Demcos I've got. Somebody needs to light a fire under Harvey. He's got a pile of Demcos for those Demco-hungry listeners out there. Anyway, thanks for letting me do that. Like I say, I just wanted to hear what it sounded like with it in and out, and I forgot to do that when I checked in the radio. Thanks, and we'll catch you next time.
All right, good deal. We have it documented with the video, the audio as well. Audio, I've said this before, but anybody wondering, audio comes directly out of the receiver through an audio jack. It goes into some minimal processing, mainly just to keep the levels up. But what you see is, what you hear is what you get. Then it goes into the sound card without any processing. And I think we run it in stereo, believe it or not, even though it's not in stereo, but it just gives a nice effect if you're listening on headphoniums, and then out it goes, beaconing off into the Universal Media Network. So that should work well on the video, which is going to be about an hour, like an hour and 40 minutes. And anyway, I left the Orban screen off, so if you're scrolling through, look for the weekly Orban numbers, and you will find it. So there you go. 23 Skidoo mentioning, if you're listening, Paul, that is a rare radio. Mitch is confirming that it was definitely hard to find the schematic, which he did, And it is even harder to find the radio to go with that schematics. In fact, you might have one of the only working ones, and we have it documented here on OTR. Thanks, Cliff. Or the Jingle Singers say they're ready again. You know, they're having a good time out by the pool. Things are still happening. looks like someone has put the water back in, so we'll be right back on the Old Tube Radio Network.
You're listening in the latest style.
27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio.
In wonderful
Fresno, California.
Looking for Radio 6.
60.
Hey, sounding good. 6 will work for 60 if I can find my... What did I do with my pen? All right, it rolled under the paper. I've got you. Take a transmission. Hello, radio.
Yeah, thank you much, here, Dennis. A quick update on the Fresno State game. That's Fresno State 14. I guess these are the Hawaiian Rainbow Warriors out of Honolulu. They got 10. Dennis, if I could check in my from World Radio Labs, my Hustler radio.
You can do that. I think I've got a different photo this time. I believe it will be courtesy of CB Tricks. Oh, it is right there. Okay, we do have it. And it's showing the blue. It's also showing, and I can't remember, you have a different microphone, I believe. This is showing the stock wired microphone. This is blue, so I don't know if you remember seeing this. It's a sky blue to go with the blue radio. Tell us, take another transmission on Radio 6, the Hustler.
Yes, Dennis, I do have the original blue microphone. I don't know if that's carbon or whatever the microphone, but I do have the original. And I guess Harvey did this setup here in the front where I could hook my +3 right where it says Labs. He put me a 4-pin connector there. So I am running a powered +3 on it, and I think I've got it pretty much set. Now, and I think I'm warm enough. It has been on for a little bit. I'll tell you a little bit about the front of it. I am running it base. It can run mobile. It has a squelch, a very unusual squelch. Hard to explain. Volume control. It also has your spotter, which I'm still looking into. It has your crystal control knob, and also a little fine-tuning knob there. Other than that, it is portable. Almost, it's right now the way it's got the mounting bracket on it. It's ready to hook up under maybe possibly an old '59 Ford Metal Dash.
Yeah, the way these radios were built. I crashed my head into a '49 Ford Metal Dash back in the day as a youngster. Those protruding metal dashboards were something, so they might as well have a couple of knobs to go with it. The picture we had last week, which the radio is much more beautiful on this one, but it had the mobile bracket. You can tell that it has a connection, a side connection for a mobile bracket if it had one, but it doesn't. Pretty radio with the WRL World Radio Labs logo. The S meter wasn't 23 channels, but still looks pretty deluxe. I see the tuning knob and the spotter, so yeah, I have to try that out. Put the spot on. I guess you'd have to go to channel 11 or whatever, but you could do it with channel 11. Put the spot on, and you'd rotate your tuning knob, and probably either listen for something like a tone, or maybe even look at the S meter and peek for some type of a peek on that. I see there's a red light. I probably asked you this before, but now I've got this. This is a different picture. There is some type of a red pilot light under the spotter, and I'm not sure if that's, and when you turn it on, it comes on, or maybe it blinks at you when you've got your great modulation. Back to you.
Yeah, she's doing a little bit of both. Pretty on.
even if I don't say anything, it's red. The minute I begin to modulate, it blinks. Doggone it, yeah, it has a pretty little red light under there. And let me see if it is an 8-channel radio. It has 6, 10, 11, 17, 1, 19, 20, and 22. And an extra little crystal slot there, I think, which might be 1.
Let's see. Yeah, I can't get any closer on this, or can I? Let me try something here. No, okay, it won't let me allow to get any closer. But I do see the EXT between the 4 and the 6. So it's basically that's your 5th channel to plug in a crystal. And they did that because you could populate the 7 channels in there, and then all of a sudden you get a buddy or you're running a business and everybody wants to be on channel 3. So instead of opening the radio and pulling something out, you'd have that little extra thing that works well, or changeable on the fly. I guess they call it, that's your agile crystal socket. Thanks for the explanation of the light. Pretty radio. And tell me again, I didn't write it down, one microphone, if anyone gets one of these radios, your audio is so good, it's so clear, it's not muddy, the highs are good, you don't have it turned way up so it's distorted. So what is the microphone you're using on the radio now?
Well, Dennis, I'm on a Turner Plus 3, very old gray mic given to me by a very good friend, and it's worked out well for this radio. I think I did send you a picture of another one that I found. I texted to you. But anyway, it is a Turner Plus 3, and we're about midway on the audio.
All right, it's perfect. Don't touch the thing. Yeah, I have an old phone that I believe it doesn't take. I mean, it's really old. It doesn't. It might have tubes in it. It doesn't do the, what is it, MMS text. So if there's a picture in it, it just shows up with a black screen. So I bet I got it, but I missed it. Looking good on the World Radio Labs Hustler. The audio is great. I'll switch over to the S meter for your transmission. Before you go, so we can get you a signal report here, because I have a feeling it sounds, it's one of those radios that is deceiving. It sounds louder than it is. Back to you.
Well, I appreciate that, Dennis. And from the back of the radio, I'm not going to even bother to explain that. I've just been told by Harvey, don't touch. Joe, don't touch. There are a few things back there that are adjusted. And very fine-tuned, so I'm going to leave it at that.
All right, no, it's doing good. You're at an S9 on the unmodulated carrier, and when you talk, it gently moves up another 5 dB over S9, which is perfect, the way you want to have a radio, a little bit of headroom, and, you know, not squeezing the modulation out of it the wrong way. Radio number 6, the Hustler. On the Hustler. On the old Tube Radio Network tonight. Yeah, put that on the shelf, because we definitely want to hear that through the next couple of years. Looking good.
Oh, for sure. Harvey went over with a fine-tooth comb, so it should be okay for a while, and the way we take care of it, doggone it, it should be okay for a while. Okay, we'll leave it at that, and I'll get another one warmed up.
All right, thanks for bringing it by.
Number 7.
And number 7 on my list is going to be, Radio 7. It's funny how that works at 950, so I can keep the 7s going, and we'll see what you've got on the old Tube Radio Network. Over to you.
Well, this one, you might be able to tell, is a Browning, the Golden Eagle R68 T68.
I could tell. Maybe Harvey put you up to checking that in, because he might not make it to the microphonium tonight, and he could be listening in. He could be one of our stations. He could be the unknown SWL tonight, beaconing in from wherever he is. And if it indeed is him, he is probably doing the happy dance for an R68 T68 to be checking in. I'll find a shot from our Rolodex. I think I'll go to the full page advertisement, and we'll go back to you for a transmission. Over.
Oh, there we go. Oh, and wanted to mention Captain Robert in the chat. Good to see him in there. Hope you're recovering well, and blessings and prayers your way.
Yeah, one of our longtime listeners, you realize when you've been on the air on Saturday evenings for well over 35 years, it's always nice when people stop by and say hello, and you say, yeah, we've been doing this a while, so yeah, Robert, take it easy, do the recoup. I'm glad that we could be riding along here with the radios tonight, the Brownings and the Hustlers, and who knows what. We'll be doing some counting and amounting here in just a little bit. The R68 T68, the first of the Eagles to don the Golden Eagle, and a tried and true transmitter-receiver combination. I don't know what kind of peeking and tweaking they did, but a Browning, I don't care where it is. So if it's 1959 or 1978, Browning always sounds like a Browning.
There you go, and that one looks... Whoop, there we go. That one looks just like the one I've got, and it keeps cutting out. That's weird. The banana microphone, and I think I got a bad wire here. Only thing I don't have is the external speaker.
Which was an option that's showing up in, let me go back to the full page ad. Yeah, back there. They show up occasionally. I think the original price on those things is $20-something, but I'll guarantee you on in eBay dollars, that's more like $200 today.
Yeah, I've actually seen one up, and they wanted like $4.50 for it, so that's a little bit steep for me. I think I'll just keep running this one just the way it is.
Hey, and we'll be happy with that. Radio 7, SWL7, Mr. Ed, pulling me in through the static noise tonight and creating a little of the good static noise himself with the Browning Golden Eagle. Mark Nunn, as 84 would say, the R68 T68. Thanks for bringing it by.
And thank you. Boy, that's a long ping.
And screechy as well. You know what? I forgot to populate the pocket protector. I am wearing it, but we do have the sponsor pen tonight, and I just saw it sitting there on the table tonight. Brought to you, the Old Tube Radio Network, brought to you tonight by Scotty's Service, AM, FM, and CB, paging and communication systems from Anderson, Indiana, at East 6th Street, 642-2253. Let me see if I can use the small close-up camera. Where is it there? Can you see that? Yeah, Scotty's Service, AM, FM, and CB paging communication system, and that will go into the very cool pocket protector. And you know what? Now I feel like a net controller. And we were looking for radio number 8. And the jingle singer's feeling good tonight.
What are the magic numbers?
27.085 megahertz, channel 11.
Are the magic letters?
OTR.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Radio Magic.
Old Tube Radio.
For you.
HF bands are quiet. Quiet tonight. I'm listening in on 75 meters down on the AM window. For the West Coast, 3870. For the East Coast, 3885 megahertz. I should say kilohertz, 3.885 megahertz. And I hear nary a heterodyne. Get some sideband activity a little bit lower, but I bet it's those Texas kilowatt stations. So you don't need a Texas kilowatt here on the Old Tube Radio Network. 4 watts, 5 watts DC input will do. We're looking for radio number 8. And 23 Skidoo, I'm looking for that episode. Mentions that before his Star Trek career, Scotty worked on CB radios. I'm sure that's in one of those early episodes. If you watch. It's sort of like, the Klingon channel was the equivalent of Super Bowl, I guess. Fresno State's still playing. I'm surprised. Oh, that's right. It's a Hawaii game, so it's late. It usually starts. I don't know. I can't remember. Hawaii's about 2 or 3 hours early for us, but so they can start. They can start early. Interesting to see. Hope the dogs hang on. Ranked number 18. It's been a while since Fresno State has been in the rankings, or at least in the top 25. I guess you're always in the rankings, right? Just to get in the top 25, you get noticed. What was it? Hurts when you're number 2, you try harder, or if you're number 126 out of 127, you try even harder. What's that from the other side? Do we have time? I think so. I think I won't blow anything up. Let me try that. Maybe we'll get some scores. And it's been that kind of evening here tonight. The Old Tube Radio Network. When you have your own copyrighted tune, you can play it on YouTube and thumb your nose at the guys over there at Google YouTube.
Operator
Living in a Mountain on your Gold Tube Radio Network. I wonder if the Golden Eagles will be number one tonight.
60.
But not until we put radio number 8 on the list. Hello, 60.
Thank you much, Dennis. I'd like to check in my Robin, 123B, with a D104, powered, of course. With all the goodies, we'd like to check this. A quick update, though, on Fresno State. They are having a hard time. They are ahead by 7. But, boy, I'm telling you, them guys up there, no joke. They're big, husky guys. And then I guess what's happening up there, they're not in a very good mood, so they're playing awful hard. Dennis, I'd like to check in my Robin 123B as a base. It can go mobile, and it is also 23 channel. I mean, it's also it has a conversion kit to it that has extra channels in it, so it's a little bit modified.
A little bit modified, but not overly done. Sometimes you can go too much, right? You can pull knobs off and have tubes sticking out the top and try and make it sound better when maybe it doesn't. You know, sometimes the Buick Riviera looks better with the 15-inch tires and rims than it does with the 26 tires and rims. And it rides a lot better. So yours is still working, it's still in there, and Radio 8 is doing good. The T123B, nice audio. I don't think that Joe allows anything other than good audio to beacon out of his radio station when it comes to tube radios. Sounding good, give us another transmission.
Thank you much, Dennis. Doggone it, we are a little bit dressy, too, in the front. It has its volume, its squelch, it's fine-tuned. And RF gain has a modulation light that works excellent. A little bit low, but fine. Has a PA light. It has a few features on it. It's button controlled for your extra speaker and button controlled for your PA. And also your text light, your RX button is there. So there are a few things in the front of this thing that make it awful pretty.
And it is a pretty radio. You're getting how do you do 3 thumbs up? You're getting thumbs up from our listeners tonight, not only for the Robin, but for the green of the radio, the T123 Bravo. This is the Panasonic chassis that is not as rare as the one that's in the Midland. A lot of radios worked on this particular one with its 11 tubes, 12AX7 in the audio, and some good stuff. Doing a good job. I don't know if you had a phone call there. If you're still around, give us a transmission. If not, we've got you checked in for radio number 8.
Yeah, I did have a phone call, and I'll call my brother back right now. It's definitely about the football games for tomorrow. It'll be a full day of football. Yes, Dennis, doggone it, I appreciate you letting me check this one in. And from that, we'll get on out of here, and we'll see you next Saturday.
All right, thanks again. Enjoy the radios. Thanks for the updates on the dogs. Wish they could all be Golden Eagles, but we like the Robins as well. The Robins have landed tonight. Thanks for stopping by. And we'll say last call for all check-ins, whether it's your radio or perhaps SWL here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
You're tuned to
OTR, Channel 11,
right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us.
Old Tube Radio.
And be modern.
All right. right, and the winner is. Do we know who the winner is? Well, I'm waiting for the drum roll. What did we say? Drum roll, please.
This is the Old Tube Radio Network. Ladies and gentlemen, stand by. It's time now for the current OTR totals.
Current and final totals tonight on the Old Tube Radio Network. And it has been, as always, a good one. 8 radios tonight. I figured it might be a little slow, but this is not too bad. The airwaves were slow after our solar activity the last couple of days. A lot of people out doing the fall thing. So when you, like I said, you get back to the house, get back to the QTH, get back to the 1020, whatever it is. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to get into that radio room, and we understand, but that's why we're here every Saturday. 12 SWLs on page 120 on page 2, 15 on page 3, and 22 on page 4 for a total of 69 is what my unofficial total shows. And radios tonight, like I said, 8. Who is the most heard manufacturer? Was it an 8-way tie? It could have been. But the Eagles have landed. A couple of Brownings and a whole host of other things, such as the Tram TR-27E from Mr. Ed to start things off tonight. Radio number 2, the Demco Satellite. The CB101 transmitter. The lights, they're turning the lights out on. Did we not pay the bill? There we go. I don't know what's going on. Did we not pay the bill here? They're trying. I guess they're trying to tell me something. Let me go to what can I go to? I'll go to the meter. Yeah, all right. Okay, you can turn the lights out. I don't care. Where were we? Radio number 2, the Demco Satellite with the Demco modulator. All 4 pieces looking good. Thank you, Cliff, for that. Radio number 3 tonight, Paul on the General Radio Telephone Super MC9. The Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB was radio number 4 from Mr. Ed. Paul came back with the Midland 13890. Watch the replay on that. And then ask yourself, when was the last time? When was the first time? When was any time I ever talked to or saw a Tube Midland radio? Joe, Mr. Hustler, SWL60 came in with the Hustler. I like that new shot. Thanks to CB Tricks for that. Great blue microphonium and nice audio. There's another radio that's probably going to be hard to find, but it's around. The Browning Golden Eagle R68T68. Put the Brownings over the top, and I'm sure that Mr. Ed checked that in for Harvey, who is listening somewhere. And as you heard moments ago, the Robin T123B. As that frog would say, it ain't easy being green, but it is easy to check in a radio if you want. The Old Tube Radio Network, HF stuff, it is still quiet. I'm looking for some AM activity, and I think this was it. This was the AM on the West Coast and the East Coast tonight on 27085, so thanks for bringing that up. Good night, everybody, from the Old Tube Radio Network. Stay safe, and we will look for you next week, same time, same channel. In the meantime, get out there, and if you do the contesting thing on the Hammy-type radio, there's California QSL Party, maybe I will be able to give you a point from Fresno County. Otherwise, do the DX things you do, and we'll report back here next week. Good night from your Old Tube Radio Network.
Thanks, Dennis, and of course, thanks to Bozo Control.
Indeed. And thank you, Levon, for the flashlight. Let me turn the studio back on. The lights have come back on. Where's my camera? Yeah, there's lights. There's actually lights. That is what is so sorry about this. I mean, when you check in an Old Tube radio, you should not have to worry about lights. Once you start doing, lights, camera action, and video, you have to worry about lights. So maybe, you know what? Maybe the best way to do this is to all those little light gremlins that want to play with things. Maybe we can do. We'll go into the 65 mode. You know, as if this were 1965 and it was a low-budget thing and not in color. So there you go. That looks a lot better. I know. I won't even need makeup now. Good night, everybody, from your old Tube Radio Network. And Mitch, you just gave me a great idea for our, I guess it's the end of the month, Saturday edition, which isn't, I have it listed that it's Halloween, but I don't think it is. I think it's off, but maybe we will have to do a 1965 Munster edition on the video, KB6GFD. And yes, good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are. And donuts actually sounds good. Catch you all later.
The microphone unplugged there, KA3TEB. Yeah, I think that would be a lot of fun.